Okay, the Midi for Saturday, August 8th, 2026. It's been a long time since I've had a chance to do one of these with you. I am looking forward to being able to see what we have. The title today is Bang Bang, which probably has something to do with a gun or maybe with fireworks. Let us see. Number one, fuss. Not sure. Parts of a LinkedIn feed. Not sure. Blank Angeles is going to be Los Angeles. That's actually Spanish for the LOS, but we all know Los Angeles. Path of a three-point shot. Well, when you make a three-point shot, it's taking a basketball shot from far away, and your ball is going to go up and go in an arc. So that is going to be arc, A-R-C. A la carte menu. It's again from French, so it's individual items on a menu. So instead of getting a preset meal, you get to choose what you're going to have for your starter, what you're going to choose to have for your main dish, what you'll have for your dessert. So that's an a la carte menu. Dweeb. Dweeb is somebody who is really kind of a little annoying, a little bit says things inappropriately, and another word for that is a dork. Okay, so fuss. Another word for fuss, commotion, or ado. How would you pronounce that? Ado, not ado, but ado. What's that? Film that angles for Academy Award nominations. Well, the Academy Award nominations are Oscars, so this is going to be Oscar something or other. So I'll put a picture of the Oscar award. You've probably seen it. That's just an emoji of a fireworks, so that's where we're going with our bang bang. We'll see what it comes up with later. Chinese zodiac animal for 2020. Well, that is going to be a ram, and a ram is a male goat. Is it also a male sheep? I'm not sure. I'll put a yes or a no on the screen, and I'll also put a picture of a ram. Dim sum steamed bun. Well, that is a word from Chinese that I'm not familiar with off the top of my head, so we'll come back to it. Foam noodle or beach ball. So a foam noodle, picture up there, is something that you play with at the beach, and a beach ball is also something that you play with at the beach. Ooh, which means this could be, instead of a ram, this could be a rat. We'll have to see. Parts of a LinkedIn feed, we're not sure yet. Less common belly button type. So there are innies. So a belly button is the thing that connects your umbilical cord of a mother to the child, to the baby, brings the air and food, I guess, to the baby when it's in the womb. And then you cut it, and you're left with a little hole down below, and that's your belly button. And whether your belly button goes in or whether it pokes out are the two possibilities, really. And so the less common is probably an outie. The more common is an innie. Greek liqueur. Okay, so that's ouzo. Or ouzo, could be an O. We'll have to have a look later if I'm wrong. And I'll have to put a picture of a bottle of ouzo. Ouzo. I remember having some as a welcome beverage at the hotel the very first time I was in Greece when I was 15 years old, almost 16. Site of a brownstone tag sale. So a brownstone, I'll put a picture there, is a building, particularly in Brooklyn, I think, is the main place I associate it with. So they're individual houses, one next to another, next to another. There's no space between the houses, and they're made of brown stones, and so those are called brownstones. So the site of a brownstone tag sale, the brownstones have little stairs that go up to the doorway, to the main doorway where people go in. And that stairway, that outside stairway, is called a stoop. S-T-O-O-P. So people will put out things that they no longer want. Maybe too many books, old CDs, old chairs. they'll put them on their stoop and have what's called a tag sale, meaning they'll put a price on it and say, okay, this item costs, I'll sell this cup for 20 cents, for $1. And people will come down the street and they'll see the tag sale and they say, okay, I'll pay $1 for that. And they'll walk off, and hopefully the person who's coming down the street and sees the tag sale feels like you're getting a bargain, and the person who is holding the tag sale feels like they're getting some money for things and getting rid of a lot of clutter in their house. Points of a pitchfork as seen in Grant World's American Gothic painting. I'll put a picture of American Gothic up there, and the points on the fork, whether it's the big fork, the pitchfork, or even a regular fork that you eat with, are called tines. And our LinkedIn posts are part of our LinkedIn feed is our posts. So just notes that people put on LinkedIn about things that they're thinking about, work, announcements of events, that sort of thing. They're posts. You're probably familiar with them from your social media. This is probably going to be ozone, right? Atmospheric layer that absorbs UV rays. Yes, so way up in the sky is the ozone layer, and that had a lot of problems at the turn of the century and seems to have gotten fixed by international agreement, but we're not able to do that with global warming and carbon dioxide, are we? So yes, a foam noodle or beach ball is a pool. This makes that not a ram, but a rat, the little mousy thing that runs around and eats garbage and is not as cute as a mouse. Well, some people think it is, but many others fear rats. And these pool noodle and the beach ball are pool toys. So bang. So this is probably going to be Kalui, right? Let's see. Hasta la vista, baby. So that's a slogan, and hasta la vista is from Spanish, one way of saying goodbye. That comes from a Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, is where that's the tagline, where he says hasta la vista, baby, and I think he then blows somebody up.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Okay, what is PSA standing for? It's probably a public service announcement. Yes, an informative TV spot for short. So a public service announcement. So these are advertisements that you see on TV that are not trying to sell anything, but are trying to change behavior, trying to let people know about important things they should be doing, to like how to eat right, perhaps. So public service announcement. Okay, so this is probably kablooey, and I think it's a bun. The dim sum steamed bun here. Another explosion of some sort. We'll come back to why. People who might bend over backwards are those yogis. They're doing yoga, so there's probably yogis. Let's see if that's an I there. To love and to cherish sounds good to me. Yes, so those are when you're at a wedding and they say, do you so-and-so hold the other person to be your lawfully wedded spouse, to have and to hold, to love and to cherish till death do you part. They say, I do. Till death do you part, I do. And another way of saying I do is, yeah, sounds good to me. I do agree. S, sticky tree gunk. So in order to keep a tree nourished in its leaves during the course of the year, this sticky, juicy stuff has to come up through the tree and then make its way out to the leaves. And that stuff is called sap. And we may use sap to get 40 liters of sap and boil it from a maple tree, and you get 1 liter of maple syrup, which you might have seen in the stores wherever you are. They make a lot of it in Vermont, where I'm from, and they sell a lot of it from Canada. Space between the platform and a subway train. So the subway train is the underground train, and the train does not come right up against the platform, right? You need a little bit of space, but you might need a larger bit of space, and that is called the gap, and you have to be careful when you step over the gap. This is particularly an issue in London, I guess. Old trains, so they had more of a margin, or the platforms curve in such a way that there's often a big gap. So in London, at the subway, which in London they call the Underground, there are many announcements and signs that say, "Mind the gap." There's a recorded announcement that says, "Mind the gap." And mind means pay attention to. So mind the gap, pay attention to the gap. And here we're talking about the gap. Okay, so is this going to be nothing in Spanish? Okay, nada. And you can use nada in English as well. To say none, I don't have any, no. Okay, it's going to be K-pop, right? Yeah, Blackpink genre, or an alternate clue for 13 and 17 across. So K is for Korean, and pop is for popular music. And Blackpink is a Korean popular band, I think, girl band, I think. So it's what's called K-pop. And K-pop, so this is going to then begin with an explosion as well, with a K as well. Brother at a monastery. So a monastery is a religious a place where religious men live all together. They are, and that all they do is they're not priests. They're just devoting their lives to God. They are maybe making crafts that they sell in order to pay for their things, or they're getting supported by the church. And all of those men who live together at the monastery are called monks. So, okay, what is this? Seaweed type. I know it, but it's not immediately coming to mind. So field of expertise is your area. What you're really good at, what you know a lot, is your area. So an area is an amount of space, usually, if it's outside, or if you're talking about the area of a triangle. Well, your area is also the thing that you know a lot about in your head. Piece of history. I'm not sure yet. Waikiki welcome ring. Well, that's a lei, and it's not a ring in terms of a thing that goes on your finger. It's a ring in terms of a necklace, a flower necklace that goes on your neck. Picture. Shortened name that includes Rick in a more formal spelling. I'm not getting it yet. Okay, the seaweed type is kelp. I'll put a picture of kelp. Piece of history. Well, when they say piece, they mean a time period, a timepiece. So an era is some length of time in history marked by decades or 100 years or a few hundred years is an era. So piece of history. History. Oscar. Oh, I see. So Rick would be short. What they're saying is that a nickname for Patrick. Patrick is the longer name, often Irish or of Irish origin. And so you can have Pat or Patrick. Okay. And so that is going to be a bao bun for the dim sum steamed bun. A picture of that. And then the sound here. So we've got a film that angles for the Academy Award nomination. It's called Oscar bait. And the sound of a boom here is kaboom, a sound of an explosion. And if kablooey is right, then we are about to get the music. Nope, kablooey is not right. So uzu is not right. It's going to be with an O. And now let's get the music. So that's the Midi for August 8th. I'm glad we finally got the chance to do it. Bang Bang was obviously about explosion sounds. Thank you for watching. Here's the outro. Thanks so much for joining me to play the Midi. Let's see what we've got to close ourselves out. We have a guy with one eye. He's going to be a pirate. Where to support the channel? Oh, that would be Patreon. Contribute to the video production costs. Oh, that would be support. Support us if you could. The most recent WordsWordsWords video would be the newest. All the WordsWordsWords videos would be the archive. the host of Midi and many other games. Oh, yes, you should subscribe to the New York, NY for New York, Times puzzles and games. Teacher of languages, the pirate professor. Get Pirate Professor videos in your feed. Subscribe. Tell YouTube that you think this video is great. That is what you do along with subscribing is you like. So like and subscribe. Appreciation for watching this video would be thanks. And have a great day. Enjoy, and we'll see each other the next time.